Now, a very interesting thing happened over the past week or so, and of course last week was the Chinese New Year, both the solar and lunar New Years, and we have the Earth Pig energy coming in now. But the interesting thing that happened was that actually before Christmas I received an approach from Julia Paulette Hollenbury, who wanted to activate herself on the Source platform. Now, Julia actually signed up to Source way back, I think in 2014 when we actually launched it. She bought one of our launch packages, but kind of wasn't ready. I actually sent it live about a week ago, which was around about the new year. And when I was getting that, getting Julia live on the system, I noticed that within the Source subsystem, she was the 168th subsystem that we had created. Now, it's very interesting, isn't it? Because the universe is constantly whispering to us and speaking to us and sending us signs and symbols. And those of you who remember Source way back in 2013 at its launch will know that this wasn't actually the original logo. The original logo was the golden ratio spiral, which is of course 1.618, and obviously a key number within feng shui as well, the 168. So I kind of took that as a sign that it was ready for us to kind of spiral outwards again and to really start growing. Now let me just put a bit of context onto that, because the business was actually born out of the 12-12-12 One World London event. Now I know lots of you were at that event, which was co-produced by myself and Marie-Claire Carlisle, and we had a very powerful team at the heart of it, people like Davina McHale and Rita Reyes, Nikki Slade, Stuart Pearce, Sue Stone, so many amazing light workers and luminaries and evolutionaries at the heart of that. And I was actually sitting, without realizing it, in the Taurus field, in the center of the Taurus field of that room. And sitting with me was a guy called Hugh Shakeshaft, who was a corporate finance guy who had tried to, on behalf of a Hollywood conglomerate, had tried to acquire Glastonbury Radio because they wanted to turn it into a global media company for spirituality. Now the deal had fell through, but I met Hugh because I was doing a show on Glastonbury Radio with Barefoot Doctor called Barefoot and the Dragon. And Hugh came to the 12-12-12 event, and I said to him, you know, even though Glastonbury Radio fell through, why don't we do something? Why don't we do some kind of TV media channel around spirituality, because the event had been such a success. So I said to Hugh, why don't we do something anyway? And he said, well, if you're going to do anything around TV and media, you have to talk to Kevin Stein in LA. And it was quite interesting because not many people knew this at the time, in that year of 2012, which was the year of the dragon, that I was actually bankrupt. And it was a very devastating, cathartic, watershed year for me, a year of massive healing around business and money. And literally on the day that I came out of bankruptcy, which was on the 7th of January 2013, that was the first day that I spoke to Kevin Stein in LA. And I remember because I was driving down to London for an event, and it was a Saturday, I seem to recall. And he's got, if you met Kevin, you'll know he's got the most amazing New York accent. Very, very clever guy. And so I spoke to him about this concept to create this TV channel, which I had thought in my mind should be a Sky channel. And it was Kevin who really said, no, it has to be short form video content like YouTube. Scheduled TV is just a thing of the past, and the key thing is that it should be curated content. And so together with Kevin's help, we created SourceTV, and the name literally came through in one of those 3 a.m. moments, and I just thought, wow, Source is the most perfect name, but there's no way that the website is going to be available. And when I searched it, of course, source.com is long gone, and Source is quite a well-used term, but source.tv was available. It cost about $1,000 to buy it, but nonetheless, it was there, sitting there, and I just thought, wow, that is the perfect name. And so together we created source.tv on the 13th of February 2013. Now, at that time, that was the day before the Lunar New Year of 14th of February, which was the water snake year of 2013. So I thought that Source was actually a dragon business, but actually, in truth, it's a snake business. It's a 2013 water snake business, and interestingly, today is the day of the metal snake. The Chinese year changes at about the winter solstice, so the energy started to shift on the 21st of December 2012, which of course was the great shift, and we did the 12-12-12 event on the 12th of December 2012, which was, Diana Cooper told me, was the opening of the Rainbow Bridge, and then 9 days later was the winter solstice, that great turning point, that shifting point in the Mayan calendar of the 21st of December 2012. And so very much Source was born into that energy. Now, through 2013, Kevin and I eventually met at the Getty Villa in Los Angeles, and then he came to London that summer, and we put together a plan. At the time, I was mentoring Gary Stern, who provided some initial funds, and he was also an investor in the Angel's Den crowdfunding platform. And so we did one of the first campaigns to launch that crowdfunding platform, and we raised the initial funding for Source, and that actually came in literally on Diwali of 2013. And just to say at this point, just massive, huge thanks to every single person who backed Source and who gave that initial injection of money to enable us to get the business live. Now, we launched on the 30th of January 2014 from memory, and those of you who remember, we did a launch event at the Guomen Hotel. I think it was called the Aqua Room, and there were about 150 people who came to that, and Kevin spoke and Davina McHale spoke about the incoming year of the horse. Yeah, that would be the year of the horse, 2014. So that was very much our launch, and one of the really interesting things that happened in that year of 2014 is we were really energizing the business and getting things launched and off the ground. It became really apparent to me through working with various amazing teachers on my own journey that what really needed to happen was for me to go deep with my own transformational journey and healing, because what I realized was I was going into this very 4D business, very much with my old toolkit from my Red Letter Days era, and just using the same old tools to try to build this 4D business using a kind of 3D toolkit. And so what actually happened was that Source took me on my own journey of transformation and healing and discovery. I ended up living in this amazing house literally at Source in Bakewell, and it actually has the Source logo, this curled logo, in the gate, which is why when I arrived here I knew that this was the perfect house for me to do this deep internal journey of my own personal alchemy. I was also taken to the mountains of Peru to source there into right high into the mountain at Apuazengate with Davina McHale to do deep medicine work with the shamans there. And I received some very deep teachings about needing to really go deep with my own journey, because what I was manifesting on the outside was simply a mirror of my own inner energetic point of attraction. And so rather than trying to shift the outside, always, as you will know, the key thing is for us to keep doing our own deep inner work, because if we're experiencing external chaos and challenges, then it's a sign of inner chaos and inner pain and inner conflict which hasn't yet been resolved. And so, to cut a long story short, I just kind of allowed Source to go into a kind of winter of hibernation while I did my own deep journey of healing. And so, interestingly, Julia Paulette Hollandbury's activation on the Source platform last week, combined with some very deep shamanic work, which I did last weekend, very much into this new solar and lunar Chinese year energy. Also, interestingly, being the anniversary of Kevin Stein, his birthday, which was on Sunday, the 10th of February, which also coincidentally is my father's birthday. So a lot of signs coming together that the time is right for us to come out of hibernation and to kind of re-energize Source TV. Now, one of the pieces of inspiration, now you just to backtrack a little, you will probably be aware that in 2017 we started looking at AI and the potential of using artificial intelligence technology to create a source oracle. And that has been a very interesting journey, because what it did was it took me very deeply into the very 3D realm of AI, which was not really on my radar before that opportunity came through. And it came through via a source stand that we had at the business show. And I really got to see how just how much energy and money is being poured in globally into AI technology, and a realization of when that technology hits, because it's all in development at the current stage, and obviously some of it is hitting, but when it fully hits, it will have more impact on our society and the way that we live on this planet than the web, than the dot-com boom back in the sort of year 2000, which came sweeping in and completely transformed everyone's lives. And I really got the teaching that AI is set to do the same. Now, our venture into AI, and we looked at crowdfunding the Source AI Oracle, and it was very interesting to put that clarion call out, because what came back firstly was a huge allergic reaction to us going down that route, but secondly a huge wave of fear of what is going on in this 3D realm, and how it is taking us out of heart and into mind and into this very mechanical, very logical 3D mind control realm, where the heart and soul goes out of everything, because everything is mechanized and programmed and controlled through artificial intelligence. And that is a really scary prospect for people. And one of the really key teachings which landed from that, because it became very apparent that that was not the right direction for us to go into, was the realization that actually with Source and with 4D heart intelligence, that actually we are already using the highest technology in the universe, the technology of consciousness creation, and that has to be so much at the heart of everything we do at Source, to truly create from that 0 point of the heart. And this is very much the teaching which has come through, and very much why this business had to come out of this kind of 3D realm back to that 0 point of the heart, and for me to come back to that place. And I'm not saying for one second that all of my healing is done, but certainly I've done so much deep inner work, and I know Kevin has been on that journey too, and he's been my master mentor throughout this, introducing me to shamanism and setting me on that path. That to come out from this place of the heart, from this 0 point, and to re-emerge into this new spring for the business, that is where we are at right now. So one of the inspirations which has come through is to create something very, very simple. And those of you who were at Tyringham Hall in 2016, we did a summit there of the UK's 144 evolutionaries, which were voted in by the public. One little simple piece of inspiration that we're going to be working on is creating just a very simple free download, which is 144 days of enlightenment. And that is basically asking all of the 144 evolutionaries to nominate their favorite piece of video, and also their favorite spiritual book of modern times. Because as you will know, as you venture out into the 3D realm and spread your teachings of love and light and spirituality, one of the biggest questions from people who are awakening into this world is, what do I do next? What book should I read? Point to me, tell me which direction I should go into. So the idea is to round up all of the top picks and choices of the very best video teachings, and also written teachings from our modern era, to help guide people on their opening into consciousness and into this very much 4D heart-centered realm. So that is the plan, and if you are one of those 144 evolutionaries, please do look out for an email, because that will be coming out hopefully later today or tomorrow. And the intention is to send that stream live on the spring equinox on March the 21st. And it's going to be a free download, so anyone who signs up for it can have it for free. And obviously it will be a piece of free promotion for all of the evolutionaries who contribute their favourite choices. So that is our intention for the first piece of re-energizing Source. We've also started piloting a new concept called 2020 Vision. And this is because those of you who are into astrology will know that in January 2020 there is a very significant conjunction between Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter and Mercury and the Sun in Capricorn, which feels like another huge energetic turning point as we birth into being a new golden era, a new way of being on the planet. So it really feels like it is a wonderful time to use 2019 to help people, lift people from all of the challenges as this metamorphosis goes on, as we are shedding the cocoon of the old patriarchal way of being on the planet, as we shed that and we're birthing through the new golden era, we can turn people's inspiration into wonderful and beautiful possibilities for the future. So those are our intentions going forward, and so that is the Source 6th anniversary message, and sending you lots of love and also huge gratitude for all of the support, all of the teachings from every single person who has contributed to Source in any shape or form to date. It's been the most incredible journey of personal transformation and discovery and teaching for me. I've been hugely supported by some amazing people, not just Richard Ashworth, but also Davina McHale, Nizami 13, Rita Herreys, and Juliet Yelverton in particular. Source shareholder Gina Baxter. It was her inspiration that took me to Egypt last November, and doing our grand finale of that journey into the Great Pyramid, and really making that 0 point connection with Gaia herself. So it's been the most incredible adventure to date, and I'm really looking forward to journeying forward with you into an amazing future. So thank you for watching, and sending you lots of love. Bye for now.